Just as President Trump leaves for China, South Korean President Moon Jae-in is leaving on another diplomatic trip to Southeast Asia. President Moon will go to 3 Southeast Asian countries for a series of bilateral summits and regional forums. Hwang Hojun is at the Blue House with the details.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in embarked on his 8-day trip to 3 Southeast Asian nations on Wednesday. He will be visiting Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines for bilateral summits and regional forums. His first stop, Jakarta, Indonesia, which is the largest importer of South Korean arms, will be his first ever state visit since taking office. President Moon's bilateral summit with his Indonesian counterpart, Joko Widodo, will take place on Thursday at the presidential palace in Bogor, about 60 kilometers away from the Indonesian capital. In addition to the summit, President Moon will take part in a forum of roughly 300 business leaders from the 2 countries, dubbed the South Korea-Indonesia Business Roundtable and Summit. It is expected that he'll use the opportunity to introduce his administration's so-called New South policy, which seeks to improve diplomatic and economic ties between Seoul and its Southeast Asian neighbors. On Friday, President Moon will fly over to Da Nang, Vietnam, to attend the 25th Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, where Seoul's chief diplomat is set to introduce his country's key economic policy initiative of people-oriented sustainable growth. The forum will involve officials and leaders from 20 other member economies, including President Trump, who had just visited Seoul on Tuesday. And on the sidelines of the APEC meeting, a bilateral summit is due to be held between President Moon and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. On Sunday, the South Korean leader will head to his final destination, Manila in the Philippines, to attend the East Asia Summit and the 20th ASEAN Plus 3 Heads of Government Summit. A one-on-one with Chinese Prime Minister Li Keqiang is also expected to take place on the sidelines of the ASEAN Forum. Hwang Hojun, Arirang News.